Hola from sunny Scotland.
It's so sunny.
It actually is very sunny today.
It's quite nice.
How are you, Caitlin?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Sean?
There you go. That's our intros. We're going to ask each other how the other person's feeling. Checking in is how they call it. And we're checking in with you, audience. Welcome back to 5 Words.
Woo, woo, woo.
Do 2 more.
Woo, 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 woo.
No, do 5 woos.
Woo, 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 woo.
There you go. 5 words, 5 woos for 5 words.
Are you ready for the first episode that has a video attached to it because we did it in the All Things Comedy Studio?
Beautiful studio. You could live there.
You could.
You could live there because they have an
They have a
RV
little
inside of
trailer.
it. Yeah. It's decked out. But yeah, it was fun as hell. This comedian, I didn't really know him that well before. Now I love him.
Yeah. I mean, we
I'd met him in
briefly met him
passing,
in
yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we got to hang out with him for an hour. And then
Yeah,
a
he
little
did-
more because he drove us to that restaurant, remember?
We did shows. Exactly. We did shows, and I did shows with him in Vancouver.
Yeah,
But
me too.
And that was one of those moments where it was like, I don't remember anything from that specific Vancouver trip he was talking about.
I do.
But then I remembered him more the more we hung out with him. But yeah, he's very funny.
Yes.
Super funny.
Very, very funny.
Look online.
Yes. It's Gavin Matts, everybody.
Gavin Matts.
So
Sounds
check
like
him
the
out.
sounds like the lead singer of a band from the 90s.
Yes, it does.
But instead it's a comedian from the 2000 teens.
Yes, it is.
What's he got out there?
He's got a Conan thing coming out, right?
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And I think some Comedy Central stuff. But anyway, he's making waves. Check him out in this episode. Check him out online. And also check out the video for this episode.
can watch it.
Which I believe will be on YouTube.
You can see how cool Caitlin looks and how stupid and fat I am. Physically.
Or you can see how hungover I am in the moment.
Oh, you're still cooler when you're hungover. You should drink more.
All right. Enjoy the episode, everybody. 5 words.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Very proper the way you speak, Caitlin.
Well, we are in the UK.
Edinburgh, Scotland.
We are at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Yeah, I'm going to say it right.
That's Sean Patton.
That's Caitlin Cook.
And this is 5 Words, the podcast. Sean, where are you going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival?
Well, actually, where are you going to be? Let me tell the people. Her show is at 5:50 p.m. at the Grassmarket Center in the meeting room as part of the Just the Tonic.
Yes.
That's the production crew, the production house. That's
my venue.
The venue. 5:50 p.m. at the Grassmarket Center in the meeting room.
Yes.
Check out Caitlin's show. Check
out Sean's. He is in the Gilded Balloon Teviot in the balcony room.
Yes.
And that's at 7:45 every day, though he would say 19:45.
So would millions of people who lived in the UK.
Or the military.
Yeah. Caitlin's show is called Death Wish.
Sean's show is called Contradickhead.
Yeah.
And you should come if you're in Edinburgh. And if you're not, you should just buy a ticket and come over and see it anyway.
I think you should. I think you should go see Caitlin's.
If you don't have that much energy and you're not in Edinburgh, what you can do to help us out is click that subscribe button, leave us a review, tell your friends. Just do a tiny, tiny little bit of work for us.
And we'll continue to do a shitload of work for you.
It is a lot of work.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Love you.
Wait, let's harmonize.
You go. You start.
No.
Okay.
Love.
Love.
That worked.
There it is.
I'm so proud of you. All right. Enjoy.
Welcome back to the one and only 5 Words podcast with my amazing, more talented than I, better at understanding modern technology. Overall, got their thumb on the pulse more so than I ever can. Almost as if I don't have feeling in my thumbs. The one and only Caitlin Cook.
How can I live up to that introduction?
That's,
And here's Sean Patton.
There you go. Bam. 1-2 punch. And this is our guest, our first guest
Yay.
in the All Things Comedy Studio.
Yay.
Gavin Matts, the one and only.
Wow, first guest. Thanks for having me.
You're the first one.
Really amazing to watch people's faces as they make introductions.
It's weird, right?
It is weird.
And I'm like, oh, people are going to be able to see that.
It's also like the first time
no.
we started the podcast with an actual introduction. I think, because we usually I'll press record while we're talking to each other.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
here there's the video element.
There is.
Here you feel like it's like we've been out there in the shit. You know, we've been for a moment, and there's the thing right there. For a moment, I was like, can I swear in the All Things Comedy
Oh,
Studio?
because it feels
You
so
can't.
professional.
And then I was
because you're
like-
like, there's this light
Right.
bounce board.
There's
above
light,
us.
this mahogany table. It smells good in here.
Yeah.
You know, these microphones are way too so nice for my breath.
You build this podcast from the ground up.
We did.
Right. But we're used to being out there in the fucking
No headphones,
in
man.
the dirt.
Just
No
running free.
headphones. And wow, wait till
Yeah.
the next time you're back out there. You're
Yeah,
gonna
it's gonna-
feel like a rich person that lost it all.
Yeah.
Just
I'm not
trading
Oh my
leaving.
god,
places.
I know. As an audio nerd, I feel like I'm gonna have to listen to the difference between the two.
Oh, I wouldn't do it.
I know.
There you go, Caitlin. One of the many nerd faces she wears, audio nerd.
Audio nerd.
Like this is where I am. It bothers me how stupid and dense I am when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
Like I can't hear the difference between this unless it's something. Unless in one conversation I'm talking like this for some reason, and then the next one I'm like this. Oh, I can tell the difference between those two. But like she's like, no, this one has a hum. I'm like, I don't hear a hum.
I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about most of the time.
Well, just convince me you have.
A staticky. My friend, he prank phone calls like alt-right radio stations. That's like his
amazing.
job.
Yeah,
And,
that's his job.
Well, he has like a Patreon, so like he
Oh,
makes
that's
money. So I'm
fantastic.
like,
Yeah,
oh, he has
yeah.
a job.
Yeah.
This is his job. It's called the Not Even a Show, but he calls it, and one of his main pranks is he makes fun of people's audio.
Really?
That's great.
Yeah, or like people. There's a lot of like weird radio hosts that'll do like some weird lip things.
More verbal dicks, as
Yeah.
we were just speaking about before. You guys weren't there yet.
Did you say more verbal dicks?
Ticks.
Ticks. Okay.
That's not what we were talking about
But I
before.
mean, that's a good
verbal
way to
dicks.
describe those things that are unwanted.
Yeah, if
The
dicks can
verbal
talk.
dicks.
Or alt-right people, verbal dicks, you know?
You remember when hardcore people on the right didn't have knowledge of
Anything.
how to make videos and record
Well,
themselves?
it's just become so easy now.
I
Anybody can
know.
do it. You
I
gotta
know.
have a YouTube. You gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta have everybody's gotta have a podcast.
It's just crazy because like what's gonna be? We're gonna enter a level of society where everyone has a podcast, everyone is in a band, everyone is a comedian, everyone is an actor of some level, everyone's putting on a one-person show at a fringe festival. We're gonna get to a point in society where everyone.
Did you just want to name all the things that I do with my life?
There you go.
Thanks.
Boom.
But when everyone is,
Yeah.
nobody
I will
is.
say the band part is probably the one that is not the case. That
Well,
everyone thinks that
Now the
they can
band
do.
was the first one.
The band's
That was,
the first
band
one, yeah.
was like
Yeah.
the original
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
podcast where it was like we gotta start a band.
Yeah.
Everybody
You're-
had a band in their garage, and now everybody's got a podcast.
That is
studio.
that is a fucking great name for some band to name their first album.
What?
The original podcast.
Thank you, Detroit. We are the original podcast. No, I don't
Well,
like it.
no,
Yeah.
no, they named their album
That's
because
like, the album.
it is
It's not a band I would listen to.
No,
the original podcast.
Yeah, I would
no,
never,
no, no,
you
no.
would not catch
I
that.
would
Definitely not.
love if it was just a band that came out with instruments and just held
Yeah.
them while they had a conversation.
Yeah,
on stage.
on the train, if anybody saw that, they were on your phone, on
Yeah.
your Spotify playing, they would get up and get off at
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the wrong stop.
Yeah.
Well, but that's you're right. Like that was for a time in way before like that was the thing. It was like we got to start a band.
Yeah.
It was kids weren't in the mid 90s being like, man, talk radio is awesome. And we need a more independent version of that.
That's how boring we got.
Yeah. And then it was like, nah, we all got to learn to play instruments.
Is it that we got older though, or there must be like 17-year-olds that are like, we got to start a podcast?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But they're not the 17-year-olds you want to hang out with.
no,
probably.
definitely not.
What was my point? Oh, my point was that we're going to get to a level where every single human being on the planet has some sort of artistic output, right? And then it becomes normal. It just becomes a thing. It's not really. It's like going to college.
Yeah.
It's not really special or different or anything anymore. It's like everyone is an artist somehow. My question is, what's the thing that pops?
Next,
How do you become famous out of that world? You know what I mean?
there'll be some crazy VR thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even know what it is yet.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it like blood fighting or like Or the other way. Does it go the other way? Like
Blood
every
fighting.
blood fighting.
I would love to know what that was.
Yeah.
You just said that like it was a thing already.
You guys don't know what blood fighting is?
No,
I know that you were talking about like it going back to the base level of stuff, but I just pictured like little cartoon cells like in a boxing ring.
your blood cells
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah,
And then
that's what I pictured.
us monetizing that.
You mean like you go into like a parking, what appears to be a parking lot, and there's just two guys drawing blood and mixing it on some kind of pan, and then a bunch of people looking at it through telescopes.
Well,
Oh
you
my
ran
being
with
like,
it.
get it,
really
ooh, get
did.
it, get it, get it, ooh, get it, and then they bet on whose blood defeats.
Exactly
What
that.
are
That's
we
blood
talking
fighting.
about?
That's what I'm saying is.
Now I gotta tell a story after this.
Yes.
I gotta do a 5-word thing after
You
In
do,
a
you do.
I'm just saying, in a society where everyone's a creator, what's going to become cool is science. There it is.
I can
like
see it
that.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get back to science.
Yeah.
Science was never cool. I don't
No.
know one scientist.
I feel like there are
Bill
podcasts
Nye.
now.
He's a fraud, right?
Yeah.
He was like a weather guy.
Elon, no.
I like
don't know.
Elon Musk,
He
even though he
scares
gets
me.
high and says crazy shit.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he played a violin in space, which is
Yeah, that's nuts.
yeah. That's
He
it.
played a violin in space.
a violin in space.
But that's the thing. When a guy like Elon Musk does or says something crazy, it's like, but he's probably a genius. Do you think they're well adjusted?
no.
Exactly. Like it's like there's a level of of crazy weird shit that's going to
But
come
that's
out
like
of someone.
a James Bond villain
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
It is. You're right. That is a good point.
Just in space.
Maybe we've had the villains wrong all this time.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, maybe James Bond is the villain. You know, just boning and shooting everyone.
I mean, from the villain's point of view.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a Bond villain. I'm starting to be like, wait a second, am I a super
I can't wait till there's a Bond villain that podcasts.
there already is. I guarantee.
Stop shitting on Mark Maron.
It would be fucking hilarious if there was that there is like if there really were superheroes and supervillains, like they all have podcasts.
Yeah.
You know, like you have fucking the Mercury Man.
Captain America's is just so positive, and
Yeah.
it's just like a positive affirmation podcast.
That would be great.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
Yeah, I feel like Tony Stark's would be so just nerdy and long. It would be like 3.5 hour long episodes. You know, the Hulks would be real quick. Usually, the moment something pissed him off, and then it's Bruce Banner, and then like wait, and then 8 minutes in, he had what's his name, Milo Yiannopoulos on.
Oh man!
And 3 minutes in, he exploded. The shortest
I would
podcast
listen to
episode
it.
ever.
Yeah. The Hulk freaked out on him.
Yeah. It would. Anyway, so that's the Avengers. 3 of the Avengers podcasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our thoughts on that. If you had to have a superpower, what would it be?
Time travel.
I'd
But
also
just
li-
like stopping time. Yeah, I like that.
I also want to point out the way Caitlin phrased that. If you had to have a superpower,
Well, yeah, if I must have
if
one.
the bummer that is having a superhero
If I have a
ability,
gun to my head right now,
Yeah.
Great
I want to
power
stop
comes
time.
great responsibility, and some
So you-
people don't want that.
right, true. So you say time stoppage.
Yeah.
I like that.
Time stoppage.
No, that's definitely like how. Okay, specifics of it though. Like how long could you stop time for?
I mean, probably like as long as I want, ideally, but maybe upwards to 5 minutes. If we got to put a time limit on it.
Well, I feel like there's got to be like.
I mean, I would always think of it like, oh, if I could freeze time, I could like steal all this money. I used to just daydream about that.
True.
Oh yeah, that would be fucking.
But I
I
mean,
would daydream about theft. I had a healthy.
yeah.
childhood.
Speaking of, this is where we're going to learn we're all actually villains and we should be out there
Yeah.
robbing and stealing.
Yeah, I don't think I would be a superhero.
No?
I wouldn't tell anybody. I would just use it for myself.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, but like my thing was always teleportation.
Okay.
That was always a power I wanted. However, Nightcrawler of the X-Men can teleport, and I don't know the specifics, and I am just putting that out there to brace myself for the onslaught of fucking comic book nerds who are going to pick me apart when they hear this at some point. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure Nightcrawler's thing is when he teleports, it goes to a dimension where it's very hot and gravity is very powerful, so he can't stay in it for very long. And wherever he reappears, he's usually like out of breath and sort of like worked over because he's been in that teleportation dimension, which he can't stay in for very long. So he's got to get to wherever he's going really quickly, so that he can't just disappear and stay disappeared for long chunks of time and then reappear whenever he wants to. That's what I understand.
So I only know this
Yeah.
because I watched Dark Phoenix because I had to go to like Ontario Improv.
Right.
And I went early and somebody was opening the theater door, like the side door, and
Right.
then I snuck in.
They explain this in there?
No.
Oh.
They explained it in the new movie, and that's the movie that was playing next. So I just went in and watched, and I snuck into the movie. I just wanted to share that
Wait,
with
so
everybody.
that is true?
Wait, is that true?
That I snuck into
No.
a movie recently?
That you
You're so
teleported?
proud of that.
That
I
you
didn't
teleported in?
No. Yeah, I just wanted to get that off. It had zero.
You got to understand.
It didn't mean anything to the story.
Yeah.
But I just snuck in and I watched the new
I
X-Men.
love that you're really proud of sneaking into.
Oh,
a
I
movie.
hadn't done that in years. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell as
Caitlin,
many
you got to
times as
understand,
possible.
sneaking into a movie in Canada is like committing money laundering or fraud.
Yeah.
here in
But it's
America.
also thrilling in a really amazingly mundane way. Like it's like a thing that you can do that you're just like that rush of adrenaline. You get to see a free movie.
It was in
It's
the
amazing.
dine-in theater too, so I had full service.
Oh my god!
So I was kind of scared that the lady might
Wait.
know that I wasn't supposed to be there. So
Did
I,
you
like,
order
tipped her
food in
$3.
Dash?
No.
Okay, because then we're talking you're a wanted man.
No. I've never dined in Dash. Too scary. But
yeah, I've never
anyways,
done that.
my point of this is in the new X-Men.
Yeah.
He says he can only see where the place is that he's teleporting to. Like
Right.
he has to like see it.
Oh god.
Like if he's going inside a building, he has to look inside the building.
Okay. But
So
do
I
they
only know
explain
that
the whole
side.
dimension thing?
Nah. I didn't even know about that, so whatever you said was
I mean,
right.
I could be paraphrasing. I just remember hearing about it once, and I like that. I like parameters of power or limitations. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not. That's why I like Superman is a boring character to me, because he just has all this power as long as there's a yellow sun nearby.
Right.
But like that sort of shit, I think I'm pretty sure, and this is another one I'm probably 1,000% wrong on, but I'm also kind of sure I'm right. Cyclops doesn't just blast; those aren't just like eyeballs that blast laser beams. It's something like his eyeballs or portals to a different galaxy, and those beams are from the sun of that galaxy. It's something fucking crazy.
Oh, crazy.
Like I like that
That's
kind
not
of.
It's just like
true, and
everybody,
you made
like-
that up. It's
I should
great.
write. I should write science five or
yeah,
comic books. Yeah.
You should write that.
Yeah.
You should write comic books.
But that's what I'm saying. So if
yeah.
if you're
Stop podcasting.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get to
if
it.
if your thing is time stoppage, what is the parameter? Like what is the?
I've thought about this.
Do you get a head? Do you have a headache the whole time?
I
it's-
probably would age quickly.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, every time you stop time, you age more.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
like
a
that.
really
That's
good drawback.
Yeah. I've thought about this
Yeah.
in detail. That's why I would get my money and get out.
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
Because you have to. Because if you stay time stoppage too long, when you start it again, you're 2 years older,
Yeah.
and maybe not everybody could tell you're 2 years older, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking good.
But I always thought it'd be cool to stop time at parties and mess with people.
But you gotta do it real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I turn their beer upside down on their head, and then it just comes back to normal time and they're covered in beer.
Can
That'd be
you-
so good. I'd
can-
watch that movie. What?
Can you invite people into your time stoppage? Like, could you be like, Caitlin, I'm gonna stop time.
He said he would never tell anybody,
if
but
I
that
could
would be
hold-
cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a good.
And they would
I'm
age
just building
too,
this
but
world
they
right
would
now.
have to age too. So you have to be like, listen, 1 minute equals 1 year. So
Yeah.
Oof. I don't know that I'd do that just to pour a beer on someone's head.
I don't know. It depends
Maybe
on
you had
who's
to
here.
do it to save somebody's life,
Yeah,
and then you're.
Yeah,
but then
worth it.
10 seconds. That's 10 months, or no, seconds are. Shit. If 60.
I think it aged week.
A second is
Yeah.
a week. So if you do a minute, that's 60 weeks. That's like a minute. That's like a
Yeah.
year and 8 weeks.
I love this world building.
I love it. It's the best. Wait, what's your thing again?
I would want to not teleport, but fly very fast.
Cool.
So kind of teleportation, but I don't know what the drawback is. I know I want
well,
two.
I think-
I'm combining two. Into one.
Yeah, I think that flying is stupid unless you're super strong,
Oh, interesting.
because
Yeah.
Yeah.
then I feel like you could break your legs landing and stuff like that.
That's true.
And if,
I know flying is is like the first thing that people say about superpowers, but what was the one that you had that was like weirder?
No. Well, I have the one I would want that I've thought of is multiplicity, right?
Oh, to-
Be able to, but my caveat there is, for every clone I make of myself, they get stupider. So if I make one clone of myself, it's of equal intelligence. But if I make two, now those two clones aren't exactly at my level of intelligence, a little dumber. And if I need to make 6, there's a chance the last 3 are pure.
Just like a bunch of Sean Patton minions.
Yeah, but for every.
I love the idea of
Yeah.
a Sean Patton minion walking around being like, "Dog, dog, dog, dog."
Like I like that if I can make 3 of me that are at like roughly my intelligence level and
Yeah.
just do whatever I tell them to do. But the more I make, the dumber they get. So I could make an army of 50, but they're gonna be some Nimrods.
If they
Right.
die, can they?
That's fine. They can die.
Cool.
There's no problem if they die.
Sick.
They just disappear.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
works.
I thought of my weirder one.
What?
If you could just like touch a book and absorb all the knowledge from it immediately, that would be fucking cool.
But like you've read the book. You touch
Oh,
it
like
and-
Yeah.
instant osmosis.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of being able to control sound and manipulate sound. So like, and even weaponize it. So
Yeah.
like I could walk out onto a busy highway as a bunch of cars are going by and just like take all that sound, and then later when there's when I want to fuck somebody up, I just turn it to where only they can hear all that amped into their ears.
That's
oh
a
my
good
God,
one.
that would be
Yeah.
a really good one.
Here, I have another superpower
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be good. If I could just like feel okay, like all the
All the time. Yeah.
If I could just like
The
be
pro-
cool.
The
and, like,
Prozacian.
yeah.
You're just like, it's called brown tar
Yeah,
heroin.
is the
Yeah.
Hulk the only like emotional superhero?
I mean, he's pretty much like the.
But it's just like anger, which is just
Yeah,
very,
it's
Yeah.
only anger. Like he doesn't have like there's not the love Hulk.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
not like a
When he, like,
sad like you
really-
get really sad, and then that's more realistic.
I mean, it
It's-
would
it's
be
not fun.
if there was like if there's like a new millennial Hulk, it'd be like he would get sad, and
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
he gets jacked.
yeah.
but when he got jacked,
just
he was.
That's all
Crying.
getting jacked is just like pushing everybody
Right.
Yeah.
you love away from you.
But then
It's
when
true.
when he got jacked, he would immediately feel like he was being too aggressive and just kind of take himself out of the situation.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, I
He's
can't-
really thoughtful.
Yeah, I wish there was a Hulk who like experienced all the other emotions.
Of
Like when he got
course.
like really happy, he just turned into like this big fucking goofy
That would
clown.
be amazing.
Like,
I would love that.
the horny Hulk.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's not really an emotion.
Well,
but,
that's the same,
yeah.
I think, as the regular Hulk.
Yeah.
Just, just so angry.
Oh wait, we're getting off the. This is why I'm glad you were a guest. We just took a little journey.
We did.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take another one because
Yes.
it's time to get you to tell us, Gavin, your story in 5 words, please.
Okay, my story in 5 words.
Yeah.
Small town. Strip club.
Yes.
Knife.
Oh, you gave us
Oh,
small town
fine.
strip
Yeah.
club
Town.
knife. I like the way you did that. All right.
cool.
All right, so these are going to be
This
the
is
5
different.
words.
I like it.
Well, I mean, basically,
Well, when anybody asks you to tell a story, people are like, "So, what have you experienced?" Like, they're like, "What have you ever almost died? Have you ever almost
Yeah.
saved anyone?" And
Right.
I'm like, "I've been doing stand-up my entire adult life. I've done literally nothing."
well, that's
So
but-
this is a standout.
Okay. Well, based on this, I mean, knowing you, I mean, I do remember the first time we met, I was talking about how you're much taller than me, right? Because you're what, 6,
6 even.
just 6,
yeah.
right? And that's inches, American inches, right? I'm 5'9". He's got 3
Yeah.
on me. It's a lot. But Gavin told me, he's like, well, actually, when he was a kid, he was very small. He was an undersized.
A little runt.
Yeah, he was the runt
of a
and
child.
you're the only child, right?
No, I have 3 sisters.
Right.
Are
so
they
he was-
all? But they're all older
all
in
lar-
this story.
all larger, and he was just
Right.
the tiny runt of the litter, but also the loudest and the only male. So
That's true.
that, of course, led to some
Yeah,
complications of growing up. The runt,
the runt
Right.
in the very small town of Vancouver, Canada.
Right. The smallest.
right,
Yeah.
right, 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 right.
So as you got older, you went through a growth spurt, got super tall, but you still hadn't really grown into your body or like the being a man. And so your friends decided when you turned 19, which is the age of that's in Canada, I think.
Right.
They decided to take you out on the town and go to a strip club.
Which was crazily enough, it was I remember you talking about this. It was a roving strip club. It wasn't in just in a mall, a strip mall,
It
or
was
a
like
building.
a carnival.
It was like a carnival. It was in an RV,
They come
right?
through every
Yeah.
town. and-
Right,
Yeah.
right. They
A
hey,
traveling strip club.
do you have
Why
something to
isn't
prove?
that a thing?
Right. Do you have something
it
to
is.
prove? Were you a runt? Were you the runt with your 3 sisters picking on you? Well, get in here to the RV strip club, which
Yeah.
is where you
Right.
went in there.
Yeah.
All right, and
But
that
what
was
you didn't realize was that in trying to acknowledge the height and the age and becoming a man, one of the other things you've done with your friends is get really into like knives and hunting and all these things that's supposed to be manly. And you forgot that you had a pocket knife on you when you were entering the RV of the strip club.
which they then made you knife duel with the bouncer to see if you could stay or not.
Because he was also really into knives.
Yeah, and let's just say you ended up staying.
Yeah.
So that's the
story.
That's the story.
Oh my God.
You were undersized, insecure youth, and you grew up in the small town of Vancouver, and said, "Fuck it, I'm going to this roving strip club."
Yep.
Oh yeah, I got a knife on me.
I've been there ever since.
And
And then
mentally.
you had to knife. You had to knife the. You murdered a guy.
Yeah.
So you could stay at this roving strip club.
Yep. So what's the real story?
Oh man, not as good as that.
Wait, that's not the real story?
I honestly, Sean started, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is it. This is the story."
Yeah.
The real story is I just was in this small town in Fort St. John, northern British Columbia, and the only thing to do there is like go to a strip. Like that's it. That's all they have. They had 2 strip clubs. It's the only late night bars.
The only only
and
two,
I'm like, so just like think of like the worst place you've ever been, and if they had 1 strip club, and then multiply that by 2,
right.
and then so after this like the worst show I've ever done, like in front of like a bunch of oil men. It was a
Canadian oil men.
Canadian oil men, like 30 of them in like a 300-seat theater.
Oh no.
Wow.
So bad.
Wait, what town was it again?
Fort St. John.
That's too many names. That's too many.
It's a fort.
It's a holy place.
It's
It's
a
a
John.
dude named
It's
John.
not a holy place, I think. That's like a cover for sure.
Yeah.
And then so I had to go out to the strip club after. I don't know why, dragged out. And then terrible strip club too. Like if like a Legion was a strip club, like too bright and everybody's too old.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, you mean like a VFW hall?
yeah, sure. Yeah, like
Okay,
like a
like-
veteran,
oh.
like a Legion, like a bar for veterans.
When you
Like old veterans.
Yeah.
like they don't even have spotlights. It's just house lights up.
Yeah. You can like see the dust.
Yeah. There's bowls of nuts everywhere.
Yeah,
You're
there was like
"Ah."
a pool table next to the stripper stage.
Oh, that's okay. That inspires confidence.
Yeah. Anyways, and then the knife part is that a stripper on stage pulled a knife on somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Wow.
respect her.
And then that's pretty much the story there.
Nice. That's crazy.
I mean, first of
Were
all,
there not bouncers? Or the stripper just had a knife on her to
She
protect
just had
herself?
a knife on her.
Yeah.
Damn. Imagine being in that environment that you're like, I'm wearing next to nothing, but I will keep a knife like in a
Yeah,
garter
I think
belt.
she had it
Where's
like
that
on,
knife?
on the stage. I
Oh
know.
my God.
It was not a booby knife, but
Yeah.
I mean,
nuts.
I was thinking the level of the best way to make like a young man in Canada's head explode is to watch a stripper pull like a switchblade out of her vagina and then pull it on and then like
oh yeah.
put it to some dude's throat like keep your hands where I could see him.
I gave her all of the money.
Yeah, that's
Well,
pretty fucking great. I mean, that should be a thing. All strippers should have swords
Yeah.
that they just bring out on the stage and just leave right in front of you.
I
It's
agree.
like, fuck with me, I'll
I mean,
cut you.
especially in like small town where it's like in Canada, there's no like dollar bills.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you gotta
right.
flick the
So you,
the
like-
loonies and toonies at them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that of like the whole making it rain culture. It's like, do you just have to tip in
You just,
larger
like,
bills or you chuck
underhand
coins
talk.
at them?
I call it making it hail.
Yeah, making
Gonna make it hail in
it
the,
hail.
gonna make
like
it
that.
hail in this
In
SOB.
Fort St. John.
That's what's like. Okay. First of all, Vancouver is in my like top 5 favorite cities in the world.
Right.
I love Vancouver
Yes.
a lot, and I love Canada in general. I just adore. I love performing in Canada. I love going to Canada. It's great. But then you go to places like that, or Edmonton,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, Canada's got its shitholes too.
Yeah, I've never been to the Edmonton, but I know that one's like in a giant mall.
I haven't
The
been there
club is
either.
fine. It's just like the city itself. I found it to be very like, oh, okay, Canada, you've got a Dallas as well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's now everybody who's from Dallas gonna want to fucking fight me. But
we're
that's
just gonna lose listeners left and right. We don't care.
yeah. With comic book nerds. What do we?
Canadians in the country,
You know,
Canada.
we've burnt the bridge to our Fort St. John audience.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're never getting played in Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
You're done in Saskatchewan.
we are done before we even got started. There's definitely parts of Canada you go to, and actually, there's parts of the world you go to where you're like, okay, it's almost relieving to
There
be
are
like,
bad places
oh, you've got your
everywhere.
idiots
in
too.
any country, there's gonna be small towns. Like when you think of like France, you think of like wine and cheese and like this beautiful language, but there are like shitty small towns in France.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just go to a major city is going to be different than the rest of the country. That's where everybody wants to go because the rest of the places suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like you pay so much money to be
in the good place.
yeah.
They're like, oh, you could buy a house over. I don't want a house.
Nope.
You know?
Would you ever buy?
Connecticut?
Do you want a house in Canada though?
In Canada?
Would you ever want to like own?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be nice in like, you know, northern BC to like, you know, retire there and it'd still probably be kind of cold when the rest of the world's burning.
Yo, wait. So you're from BC specifically?
Yeah.
I'm not even shitting you. I've talked to Caitlin. We've had this talk a lot. I swear to God, in like the next decade, and probably less now, I want to invest in like ranch land.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot.
In like northern Canada,
In like the Yukon or something.
just to be like, all right, like shit's going down. We got the ranch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to
You know?
go up there to
Yeah.
the ranch.
So
And the whole thing is everybody has like a little house, but no kitchen. The kitchen is like a communal kitchen. So the ranch becomes like
Yeah.
a kibbutz almost, or like a commune, but
what's a kibbutz again?
it's a Jewish word for a commune, kind of. Everyone works
Really?
and like, yeah.
So there's a place in LA called the Kibbutz Room.
That's at Cantor's, yeah.
Yeah, and
There's
it's
a show
basically
there.
the commune room.
Yeah.
Is what doesn't feel much like a commune. Feels like a bunch of drunk people full of deli meat. But
That's honestly my
which
people.
is basically
Yeah.
drunk deli fanatics.
Yeah. You could deal with the
That's your
ranch
own
though,
kind of
the
commune.
wildlife and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one could. She was a what was it? An equestrian team.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can ride horses.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I can till some land. That's
That-
not the right verbiage. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'd rather have
figure it out.
wildlife there than like wildlife in the city.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Currently
love
have raccoons in my wall.
in your wall.
I love and hate that. Like, that's terrifying, but I love raccoons. They're so cute.
Yeah, in my wall.
Are you ever afraid one's just gonna like reach out?
No. Like they're getting them out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not like, hey, you guys can stay here.
Well, yeah,
we thought it was possums at first, so I haven't been staying there, but
Where's this place?
it's like by the Virgil.
What? And there are raccoons in your wall?
that is in
Yeah.
that is in eastern Los Angeles.
Mhm.
That is and
Like
they're
Silver Lake.
Yeah.
raccoons.
Yeah, well, I thought it was. I have a video if you guys want to hear it.
I do.
You're gonna be freaked out.
Can hear it.
Yeah, like I recorded this to send to like our people to send to the landlord.
Please play it.
Is there a way?
Into the
Is there a
microphone.
way we could play it? Can we plug it in and hear it? Yeah. Oh, to this right here. Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, my God.
I want to hear raccoon screaming.
Oh, my God.
That's in your wall?
That was my wall.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
And that was like at night.
If you would just watch a scary movie, I would get the fuck out of there. Oh, my God.
That's just in your. That's where people decided how. That's how people decided houses were haunted and shit years ago before
Yeah.
they understood the concept of raccoons and
Yeah,
walls.
there was like
Like,
the
"Oh,
electricity
listen to the
malfunctioned, the
demons."
light
It's
went
also
off.
like
Yeah.
nighttime and it's like nocturnal. It's like go outside. Like
Well,
That's so funny.
well, okay. That is. I mean,
That makes me like raccoons a little bit less.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I hate.
but
I
just a
don't-
little bit.
I know they took out 3 the other day.
Yeah.
And then they closed it up and they closed up all the holes. And then last night they said that there was like they missed some.
Oh no.
Do they?
So they killed them.
Really?
Yeah. So they killed
No, baby raccoons.
They're good.
Actually,
yeah.
the only place that I've
3.
ever
Otherwise they'll keep going back.
met nice raccoons was in Vancouver.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Stanley Park. They were just kind of wandering
Yeah.
around and like looking at you, but not being creepy or weird.
Well, that's nice because like Stanley Park is like, you know, a forest in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of Vancouver. Yeah, Stanley Park. This was a year ago. We were walking around the park high out of our minds because weed, you know, I've been in cities with legal weed, but Vancouver had like weed bars.
Yeah, there was one right by Stanley Park that had like video games, and you could try little like taster platters of different buds and strains, and there was a wall full of like Skittles and other candy that you would want to munch on. It was like what you imagine a weed bar would be. It was
very
great.
weird. Yeah, and we got real high, and we're walking around, and we saw all these people feeding raccoons, and the raccoons were like chill and like walked up to you and would just kind of look at you, and like if you handed it something, it would reach out and take it and almost nod, almost go thanks, and walk away. And it was like, wait, these things are supposed to be dangerous and full of fucking rabies, but they're chill.
Yeah, they were super
And it was
chill.
like, oh,
It was cute.
Canadian.
Canadian
They're
raccoon.
better
Yeah.
educated. They're raccoons with universal health care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have socialized medicine.
Yeah. like they don't.
They got all their
They,
shots.
they
Right.
won't pull a gun on you.
They're
you
not
know?
feral. Yeah.
They're not. It's not this. They're not these psycho-capitalist raccoons.
Right.
They're these more semi-socialist, chill.
They couldn't buy cigarettes at 16.
They don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea. So if Canadian raccoons were in your wall, they'd just be like, sorry.
Yeah. They probably wouldn't even
Yeah, they'd probably
Yeah.
leave.
just camp out outside.
We're sorry. We're gonna
Yeah.
leave immediately.
Man,
that is-
it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's so nuts.
And
So
but-
is it done now? Can you
I
go
hope
back?
so.
But for every
What
just
a weird infestation.
next when you go to Canada next, just remember, for every wonderful, friendly creature and beautiful city, somewhere out there is a stripper having to pull a knife on someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the balance of life in the country you hail from. Which is why let's buy some land.
Yes.
Get
You
up
know?
there, even it out.
Yeah.
Even things
Canadian
out.
kibitz. Yeah.
Canadian kibitz, I'm down.
That's a good name for the commune.
The Canadian kibitz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, are there a lot of Jews in Canada? I feel like,
In like major cities.
yeah. So
And also
it probably isn't taken. Don't
No.
take our domain name.
don't take it. Yeah. Please don't. That's,
Actual domain though.
yeah.
Land domain.
Because that's a thing. I want to there's two questions I want to ask about your tale. One, was you said there was no other places to drink in that town?
No.
It was just
There's like no bars.
two strip clubs.
Yeah.
Did you go to both?
I did.
You did. Was there a knife situation at the other one?
And the one was nicer.
Yeah.
One was nice and one was bad, but everyone's like, go to the bad one.
Yeah. That's that
I
is.
guess so. You see the.
So
Yeah.
you have a story for a podcast many years later.
Yeah, exactly.
So you see a knife get pulled on someone.
3 years later.
The other one, it's like no knives. Everybody's friendly. They're just There's bowls of rose petals, so you could throw them
Yeah.
at the stripper to make a
There's
pass for them
there's
to
a
come
knife
over.
coat check.
Yeah.
You coat check your knife.
If
They put it in a nice sheath.
Yep.
It comes with a sheath.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
fucking hilarious. I mean some strip clubs in general can be handled much better.
I haven't gone to one since.
I've
No?
never really. I went to
No.
a Magic Mike one though, for a friend's bachelorette,
Oh, that's
and
like
it was
a show.
Yeah, that's not really a strip club.
I-
It was not great though.
That's not true, actually. I did go to one in Portland with my older cousin.
But I've heard the Portland ones are better because they're run by women.
I got a drink there. It was just like a vodka soda. It tasted like gasoline.
Oh no.
Really?
Yeah.
What strip club was it? Do you remember?
No.
Yeah. There's strip clubs in Portland where it's like the drinks are cheap. It's only like $1 to get in. And like I think this should happen everywhere. The bouncers vet you as you walk in. So like if you're a kind of shit face, they'll be like, "Hey man, where are you coming from? How many drinks did you have there? You all right?" Like they'll talk to you.
Oh yeah, can you tell us that story? That if you remember it.
Which
about
one?
The guy that got vetted and the pepper spray.
The guy that got vetted with the pepper spray.
The strip club vetting pepper spray guy, and the police. I think it was in Portland.
Was it in Portland?
Yeah, it was in Portland.
Are you talking about the dude that I saw get hit with pepper spray?
Yeah.
Wait, what was that? I think that was the story, right?
Oh, I don't know.
That was the
Sorry,
whole
I thought it was
story?
better.
Oh, you ruined it.
No, but I did.
I was trying to remind him without giving him all of the information, but
Yeah, I do remember a dude. There was a dude at I want to say Sassy's in Portland, who they were like, hey man, you're not coming in. Basically, the dude was fucking hammered out of his gourd, and they're like, we're not letting you in.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. I just for some reason hammered out of his gourd was a
love that
phrase.
phrase.
I love. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and he was like, "What? No, fuck that, man. I got like 10 friends in there. I'm coming in." And they're like, "Nope, you are not going in. So text your buddies, tell them, nope, you're not coming in, man. Sorry." And he got real fucking shitty. And the bouncer just very casually and nonchalantly just hit him with the spray. And the dude was so hammered that he was just like, oh, fuck you, man. When this wears off, you're done. Like he was just shouting, like, oh, you fucking got me. But as soon as this wears off, I'm coming for you. And then he got arrested, of course. The cops were there pretty fast. But it's like, I don't understand that mentality. Because I've been the guy who's been too drunk. It happened in Portland again. I left the after party of a comedy fest. And when I tried to get a taco from a taco truck, and when I tried to go back in, the guy was like, "Nah, man, you're too hammered." And all I said was, "Oh wait, but I'm with the after party." He's like, "I don't care, you're too hammered." And I was like, I knew right away. I was like, "There's no way I'm getting back in. Doesn't matter."
Yeah.
Luckily, Ian Carmel, who is a wonderful human being, was like, "Just walk behind me." And we did like that old prank of like Ian just walked slowly, and I just huddled behind him.
oh my god.
And walked right past the dude and got in. No big deal.
Maybe the only person that could work behind
Was Ian, yeah.
Just like a big friendly, nice
lovely,
dude.
I love
lovely,
Nobody's
gentle
looking
giant.
twice at Ian.
Yeah.
They're
Everyone
like, yeah,
like-
Ian, you're good.
yeah. You wouldn't be sneaking any drunk people back in. But that mentality that someone has when they're being told they're not
Just
getting
Ian
in.
on your shoulders in a trench coat.
Yeah.
Just the largest.
Just come, hey. Yeah, if Ian wears a trench coat, he does look like 3 people sitting
Yeah.
on top of each other's shoulders. But no, like that mentality that people have where you get told you're not coming in, they go like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
yeah. what
I've
do you think
never
that's
wanted
gonna
to-
You're
do?
never going to
with a
argue your
bouncer.
way in.
No.
Yeah.
I have a friend that does that.
What
Will
do you
like
think?
argue with. I think he's been like punched in the face by a bouncer like upwards of 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. There's this thing in Vancouver. It's called Bar Watch, and if you like do something like at a bar, you get put on Bar Watch. So when they scan your ID, you can't get back in. And I think he's been on that like 3 times.
That's such a great idea.
I would love it if your friend had been punched 5 times and your 5-word words were, ouch, fuck, ah, oh.
Well,
And
I
that's
wish
the
I had
time-
known that previously.
Yeah.
The time
Yeah.
that my friend
Way
got punched
better
5
than
times.
mine.
I don't know, getting a knife pulled on a person
Yeah.
by a stripper, getting to see that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish, as a knife enthusiast, I
Yeah.
respect
he
that.
does love his knives.
You love knives.
I do. I like knives.
That's why you want a ranch in
Yeah.
the middle of.
Yeah.
Yeah, get my knife throwing. That's the thing that's funny is like I collect knives and people get real weird and I'm like, why you get weird at me? I'm telling you. Get weird about the guy who's not telling you about his knife collection.
Right.
That's the fucking guy you got to worry out about.
Worry out about.
You got to worry out about that SOB
Yeah.
right there. This is me trying to speak. You want to say speak Canadian, but that's also
A boot. Nobody says
yeah,
that.
nobody says that.
People
Nobody.
say that at me. It's racist
Yeah.
or something.
It's
They'll be
annoying.
Like, sorry, and I'm like, yeah, I say sorry.
No, dude, I get
Xenophobic.
get
Yeah.
that too because being from New Orleans, people just always want to be like, "Oh, Lord, you got a crawdad in your pocket."
Oh,
I'm
like you're
yes,
Cajun or
Yeah.
something?
Of course, yeah. We all just carry crawfish,
Yeah.
boiled crawfish, on us at all times. You fucking dingbats.
Everybody's got to have something like that, though. Like, you're from Boston. People are like, Pakakan hot, or whatever, you know?
Yeah, people just know the one tidbit
one
of
thing,
information.
yeah.
It's like, oh.
Caitlin's from California, so they're like, "Hey, do you got some avocado and marijuana?"
You're like, Bernie,
yes.
2020.
Yeah. No, I will say when I say I'm from here in LA, outside of LA, people will be like, oh, do you know celebrities? That's the most common question, I think.
And what do you?
We say
say
we know Gavin Matts. We're having him on the
Oh my
podcast.
God.
Right? And they lose their minds.
Oh my gosh, do they really?
Yeah.
People know me.
Yeah. They know about
Just
the
the
you and your
longest
raccoons.
silence.
Yeah,
You and your
man.
raccoons.
Well, I think if we've learned anything today, it's that if you're going to have a raccoon infestation, you want Canadian raccoons.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself in Canada, always go to the naughty strip club first,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just so
Yeah.
you can appreciate the good one afterwards.
exactly.
It's all about appreciating.
what you have.
You just taught us today on this episode, appreciate what you got.
Appreciate what you got.
Where can we find you?
Here right now.
Right now,
Yeah, you like that bit?
Yeah.
Just on Instagram and Twitter at Gavin Matts.
Yeah. And it's right there. You know, on Instagram, you press that button during when you press your thumb on a story, it stops, much like freezing time.
Oh,
But don't do it too long because life moves around you.
Yeah. You might lose some ears.
Yeah.
damn.
But yeah, look up Gavin. Gavin's mega hilarious, and you can watch his Comedy Central. What was the clip called? It's just called
Just Comedy Central in my name, and you'll find it
He
on
just
YouTube.
did a set at
The satellite.
the satellite earlier this year, and those were all fucking great. And check him out. Gavin's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, guys.
If you get a raccoon infestation, you want Canadian raccoons. And if you haven't seen raccoons eating cotton candy, stop this podcast and go look it up on YouTube.